Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Genoveve Designs. We are working with the Crafty Companion printable template that is available in my Etsy shop, and I will have that listed down below in the description box. And we are currently making the Crafty Workstation with the Crafty dividers on top. So there's the Crafty dividers, and then there's the Crafty cubbies and Crafty trays. So here's where we've gotten so far. It's now an actual unit. It's going to be hard to get it underneath this camera because I can only get my camera up so high. So this is what we've got so far. We've got the Crafty cubbies. I've got 5 slots. And then we've got the dividers on here, and it's now one unit. So it's now basically a workstation. We could just add trays and be done if we really wanted to. But today we are going to mat the sides and the back, and maybe this front piece right here. If you want to see how we made this from start to finish, I have a YouTube playlist. I'll link it here and down below specifically for this project. It starts with the introduction to the templates. Then it shows you how I made this workbook. This is my workbook right here. And I do suggest that you make some form of workbook, even if you make it as you go, because there's going to be tons of pieces. And once again, I will make sure to tell you we are in the Crafty Cubby section, and that's page 1. Or we are in the Crafty Bottom section on page 1, because every section has a page 1 to however many pages there are. Okay, so I will make sure to say what section we are in, so you print off the correct, or go to the correct section. Okay, so also there is a Amazon list down below as well on my influencer page. It's specifically for this project. It's down there linked. All you got to do is hit it, go to Amazon, and if you want to find out about the chipboard that I'm using or whatever, it's there, it's listed. Just click on the picture and it will take you to the listing, and then you can see what it's all about. I also wanted to say, before we get started, to give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit that bell notification so you get notified when I upload a video, and also to share my videos. I always forget to say share my videos. It helps me out a lot if you guys share my videos with your friends and family. We're going to start with matting the sides. Well, actually, I'm going to tell you everything. It's going to be hard to see. Like, look, that is sitting on top of my workbook, and it's underneath the camera. It's not that tall, but it just looks gigantic. So we're going to start by matting the sides and then matting the back. But I'm going to show you everything you need, I think. Or I think everything that you're going to need. In the Crafty Cubby section, you're going to need page 3M. This is the mat for the back side of any of your Crafty Companion projects. So the back side is meaning like this part right here, this back side, or even this back side right there. So you need this. So that's 3M, that's page 3M in your Crafty Cubby section. And then you also need page, oops, the static's hanging on to it. You also need page 4M in the Crafty Cubby section, and this is the mat for the sides of any of your Crafty Cubby projects. So this is the mat for there. You probably couldn't see that because it was literally right here. So you need both of those mats. Those come out of the Crafty Cubby section. And then in the Crafty Divider section, you will need, I just showed you what it's going to look like, but that's okay. You will need, let me show you a paper line. So for this whole project, I'm going to be using my Floral Whimsy Digital paper collection. It's available in my Etsy shop. I'll have it listed down below. And these, I'll show you the paper set I printed off, and then I'll tell you what I printed on top of that. Okay, so I actually printed off 3. I printed off 3 of these. It's just a full sheet, like a full, oh, bless you, Sophie. It's just an all over type pattern, right? And then I went and I printed 3 of those off, but on 2 of them, I printed one of page 8M and one of page 9M in the Crafty Divider section, 8M and 9M. So this is what it looks like when you print it off. So the distress lines are printed on there. So you don't have to print it off onto your paper. You can literally trace it out onto your paper if you want to, or if you're using a 12 by 12, you can use your traceable template and trace it out, no problem. But that's what I did. This is what I chose to do because I come up with like 3 different ideas of what I thought I wanted to do, and you don't need these templates. You just need to print off these pages. Let me move this. So my first idea, well, let me show you what we're going to end up doing. So this is the other page. So this is 8M. So I've already put it together. This is where we're headed. So let me show you. Whoa. I got so much stuff out right now. So am I zoomed in or something? Let me see. Nope. I'm not sure how to get you guys to see this. I'm afraid if I back up too much, you won't be able to see. Okay. So this is what it's going to end up looking like, you guys. I wish I could raise my camera up higher, but I can't. So we're going to have a white panel down here at the bottom. We're going to use a paper punch, and then the rest of it's going to look like this, all the way up the side there. I'll show you this. The finished product of this will probably be in the intro video because I'm trying to film this before the intro so that I can show you what we're going to be doing. But anyway, so that's one side. Well, that really stinks that I can't show you the whole thing. Okay, so this is what I ended up deciding to do. But my first idea was this one, right? I don't know if you can see, but it's got a different pattern. It's got the postcard pattern, and still I use that same punch, but then I tried to do some faux something or another up there, and then I tried different things to put in the middle there. See, on this one, it's got little, I think they're called gemstones. They just look like little metal pieces, sort of. So there's those metal pieces. I even tried using a dot of glossy accents, and you can do that as well. A dot of glossy accents, and then there is like some sticky back, like little metal pieces. There is some sequins, right? It's a pretty sequins. Those are rusted brads that I literally just cut the brad part off and just kept the top. And then here's some flat back, like rhinestone-y type things. So I chose these. I liked these the best, right? So there's one idea. And then I was like, yep, that's what I'm doing. So I did that with the gemstone looking type things, right? It looks good. That looks good. And this is with 2 different pattern papers, right? So then I did this one. When I thought of this idea, I did this, and I got a little short piece here. But then I was like, you know what? I actually think I like it chunkier. And the more I looked at it, the more I think it looks more sophisticated and more elegant. Do you know what I mean? More like a piece of furniture and less like, you know, cardboard and paper or chipboard and paper. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I arrived at this. So I went ahead and made that one. So we have one side done. So I'm going to make the other side with you, and I'm going to make the back side with you. Okay, so we're also going to need a couple strips of white cardstock. So I've already cut them, and we'll talk about the width measurements later. Is that even the right width? No, I'm going to have to cut it down anyway. So this is from a 12 by 12 white cardstock, and I cut 2 strips of white cardstock 12-inch length by 3 1/8 wide. Okay, so that's the size of the white cardstock. Hang on. And then so for this, we're gonna set this aside for the back. But I'm gonna go ahead and just trim this out. And I'm going to cut this white strip off because when I did the other one, I could see it underneath. I don't know, it was kind of weird. So we're going to go ahead and cut that off. So we've got this. So then what you want to do is get your project and then you want to kind of test it out. Lay it on there and see if it fits perfectly. It should fit mostly perfectly, but you have to consider you might be using different chipboard than me. You might not have wrapped your edges. You might have got a little wonky in certain spots, or I might have gotten wonky in certain spots. So you may need to make some adjustments. So don't be upset if you lay it on here and you're like, no, it's not right. Just make the necessary adjustments and you'll be fine, because no two workstations are going to be the same, because, you know, like you might have cut your chipboard a little bit longer on this side, or there might be a piece sticking out somewhere. It does not matter. So everybody's is going to be a little bit different. So mine seems to be fitting okay. Seems to be doing all right. So I'm going to, I know you can't really tell because it's right up underneath the camera. So I'm going to move this over. And then for this piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let's see. This is the template for the side of any Crafty Companion project. I'm going to lay this, I'm going to line it up on this piece that I have here, this 3 1/8 inch piece. I'll line up that edge. And then I'm going to draw a line. So it's going to be the right width by 3 1/8 inch. Right? And so it should be the same as your paper you printed off, but if it's not, once we attach these two together, you'll see what I mean. Once we attach them together, everything will look good. You'll see. So now what I'm going to do is, I don't know what the name of this punch is. This is a Martha Stewart border punch. I haven't looked it up yet. I've had it forever. I don't know if it's available, but use your favorite border punch. You use whatever you like. So I'm going to turn this over on this side where there's no writing, and I'm just going to try to find my center. I usually don't get it right. And I'm going to punch all down this side. Right? Okay, so now I'm going to ink these edges. This is Distress ink in a Vintage Photo. That's what I'm using for ink, and a Ranger blending tool. This is our ink station that we made in one of the first videos using these templates. So first I'm going to go around the edges and get the edges kind of sloppily, really. Got something on my nail. Right, and then I'm going to grab a craft mat and I'm just going to gently try to get more of that decorative edge. Ooh, this is really dark compared to the other one I did, but that's okay. It's going to be on the opposite side. Okay, so that's the only piece I'm going to do like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and just ink the white edges of this piece, because since I printed it, it already has the distress on it, the distressed edge. So I'm just going along that white edge, not doing the bottom. Okay. So again, I know this is going to be hard, but what I'm going to do, let me show you what tape I'm going to use. I'm going to be using some purple tape. This is like, it's mostly used for like holding stencils down, and when you're running thin die cuts through the die cut machine, holding things down. That's what it's mostly for, but I'm going to use it to hold this paper down for a minute. I might need another piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on here, and I'm going to lay it exactly where it's perfectly where I want it to be. Does that make sense? Then I'm going to take a piece of that tape and I'm going to tack it down for a minute. I do not want it shifting on me. Right? And so I'm just going to tack it down for a minute. Let me grab another piece. I'm going to need a couple more pieces. Okay, so I've got that where I want it. So then I'm going to come down to this bottom part and I'm going to lay that white piece we just made. I'm going to lay it down on here and I'm going to line it up to the bottom of my box, of my workstation here, to the best that I can, right? And I can't see, so I'm going to tilt it. Yeah, that's not too bad. So then I'm going to tape this piece to the printed pattern that we made, right? Okay, so now I'm going to remove this whole thing from the workstation as one piece. Right, so I've got that laying flat on my worktop here. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to tape it down with some of my Scotch tape. Transparent tape, whatever you want to call it. And I got a little over. It's okay. So I'm going to check to make sure everything's lined up pretty good. And it looks to me like this edge is a little off. So I'm just going to, you probably wouldn't even be able to see it, but I just wanted to knock that little bit off. It was just a little off, not a lot. Right? Okay, so now I'm going to remove that tape. This is all so that we can line up. And my hope is this will match the one I already made. What did I do with that one? Right? Pretty good. So then the middle, look, see how much lighter it is on the side? That's okay. And so then in the back, we can make sure it lines up, you know, for each one of these. So now what I'm going to do, since I taped the back, I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it backwards. So this is where the glue is going to go. So this is our glitter glue. Of course, if you didn't want to do this, you could just do one solid, like one 12 by 12 solid piece if you wanted to. I just thought adding this little bit extra decorative was kind of a cool idea. So I'm just going to add it and then I'm going to dot it all around this section so that it stays put. Right? Let me get that right there. Get that right there. Oops, it already flipped back on me. Okay. Well, I'm trying to get my pen back in my bottle. Right? Okay, so I'm just going to let it go back to its original position. Then I'm going to take a tissue and I'm going to press. So I'm trying to blot up anything that oozes out. Whoops. Well, don't get dirty glue on your white, but anywho's. Right, okay, so there's the hat. This is a stopper topper. My friend Michelle makes them. I will link her Etsy shop down below if you're interested in checking it out. She sent this one to me. Isn't that sweet? So pretty. Okay. All right, so again, I'm going to double check to make sure that this fits. And you might be able to see. Right? So like my bottoms aren't exactly straight, or my sides. Something is a little cattywanked on one side or the other, but that's okay. And that's just because it's just the nature of the beast. This is not a manufactured product. This is a handmade product. But in the end, those little things are not going to be noticeable. Okay, so that fits on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the little stones. So these are in the beading section at Hobby Lobby. And I think they might be Hobby Lobby brand. It says Bead Design Co. But on the back it says Hobby Lobby. So I don't know, but it says premium acrylic gemstones. Can you see them? They're not like the rhinestones where they're shiny and clear. These are like, look like little metal pieces. Well, they fit perfectly into these little holes that punch created. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get these out. Well, I'm gonna get some out. And how many pieces did it say? There's 200 of these pieces. So I think I got these for half off, if I'm not mistaken. It says $3.99, but I think I got them for $2. So these are very staticky, so I'm just gonna lift this part out. Lift that part out, and you see how they're perfectly stuck to the plastic thingy that keeps them in their container, right? Come on, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna grab my art glitter glue. And then I'm also going to use this thing. This is called a Quick Stick We Are Memory Keepers Precision Pickup and Placement Tool. So on one end, there's this little gummy bit on one end. And sometimes you have to squeeze a little more out just by twisting, and some of it got stuck there. And then on the other end, you have a removable part that has a pointy end and a flat end. So we're going to be using that too, because the glue likes to stick to my nails for some reason. So I'm literally just gonna, I'll show you how much glue I'm gonna use here. I'm literally just gonna use one teeny tiny dot of glue, okay? So I'm gonna go through and put a teeny dot of glue. I'm not going to do all of them right this second because I don't want the glue to dry on me. But then I'm going to take my little pickup tool and place it down and smoosh it down, and sometimes it'll release no problem and I don't need this other part of the tool. But then other times it's like, no, I don't want to stay. Right? So you can pick them up really fast instead of using like tweezers and stuff. My nails get in the way a lot for things like that, so this is like perfect. And then I got a little bit of ooze there. I'm just going to grab it with the pointy end, right? See how quick and easy that is? So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up. I might even keep it in real time because it takes no time at all when you've got this little tool. Whoops. See, that one's like, no, I want to go with you. So this side is done. So you just do the other side the exact same way. So I'm going to set this aside to dry, and let's work on the back. Okay, so again, we're working with the page 3M template from the Crafty Cubby section, and this mats the back of your projects. So it'll mat the back of the top part of the divider, and it'll mat and you could do it in two pieces if you would prefer. No big deal, because you might have like a taller base, but I'll show you. Let me show you how you come up with that right size. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this template and I'm going to lay it on here. I'm going to lay it on that white edge there. Or match it up with that white edge, right? And then I'm going to just trace one side. So I've got the width of, so if this was the 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you would just trace it on the one side, and then you would take it, after you cut that one side off, you would take it and lay it on here and measure it down to the bottom exactly where you want it, and then that's where you would put a line. You would put your ruler down, trace a line, and you could have a full solid sheet there versus piecing it like we are today. So that way, if yours is much taller, or like when we make the storage, crafty storage, excuse me. I'm sorry, I got a little tickled. When we make the crafty storage unit, you know, it's going to be taller, so we're going to have to either use a solid sheet of cardstock for that, or we're going to have to piece it together. You know, like a solid 12 by 12. Okay, you won't be needing this anymore. Well, you might, so I'm going to lay it aside. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my paper trimmer out. Since these are all straight cuts, I am just going to go ahead and trim this down at the bottom. I'm going to try to. All right, and then I'm going to trim all the white off. Okay, so then I'm going to take, I guess I can just use my template since I've got it out. So our white piece of paper with the, that's been cut to 3 1/8 of an inch in this way. I can't think. In height. We're just going to lay this template on there, and we're going to trace that off so it's the right size. And then we're going to cut that down. And I'm going to go ahead and punch this all the way down. Try to get it in the center, but that's not something I'm good at. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink both of these the exact same way I inked the side panel. And then I'll be back. I've got both of my pieces ready to go. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get my project over here. And I'm going to line this up exactly where it's supposed to be. Or exactly where I want it to be. Best that I can. Try not to get it on here too crooked. Okay, so I think I'm going to attach it down on the top there. And I'm going to attach it, I think, well, let's see, how can I do this? I'm going to attach it here. And I'm going to attach it there. Temporary. We're temporarying. Okay, so then I'm going to lay this on here. Uh-oh. That didn't work. What happened? Uh-oh. I'm going to have to make another adjustment. I thought it was going to work. Well, okay, so I miscalculated the backside. Good job. Good job, Jen. Maybe we can put another piece on top. Maybe not such a wide piece. Alright, here's a piece of the 12 by 12. It's a strip. So we started with we got a 3 inch. Maybe if we just did, what if we did a 1.5 inch on the top? Alright, let's test that out. Yeah, because we need, I'm going to have to try to see if I can't figure this out real quick. We need to scoot that down at least another 3/4 of an inch. At least. So let's do 2 inches. And the reason for that is because when we punch it, it's going to take a bit away. So let's take that strip away. Let me get my, is this the one? Yes. So you gotta make decisions on the fly. I miscalculated the back, which I'm sure you guys do that kind of stuff all the time. But I want the bottom to be even with the 2 side pieces, for sure, for sure. Alright, where'd my punch go? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and punch this, ink this up, and then I'll be back. Okay, I got my other strip ready. I got a little bit more heavy-handed on the inking, but that's okay. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this tape backing, or this tape, not backing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this bottom down, because I can always reposition it. I'm just going to tape it down. No, I better tape it down to the sides. Then I'm gonna tape this top to the top part, I think. Maybe just on that. I can't see. You guys can see. I hope you can see anyway. So tape that to the side. Tape this to the side. Right, and I'm going to slide this in here. Yes, yes, this I love. All right, I need to grab some more tape though. So let's get 1, 2. That could be split into 2. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to just, now there's plenty of room, isn't there? We are going to tape that to that. Tape that. I'm holding it down here in the middle because there is a dent here. Whoops. So we don't want to forget that. It's a dip. Tape that down there. Tape that down there. Okay, so now we can remove it from the workstation and lay it flat. I hope you guys can see good enough. I hope. So I'm just gonna slide. I'm scared to accidentally adjust it somehow. All right, so this is what we got. All right, I hope we did good. I hope we did it. So now I'm gonna gently flip it over. Boop. And I'm gonna get some of my tape. Just my regular old Scotch tape. This is transparent tape, and it looks like I'm about ready to run out. I might have to get another roll. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and secure it just a little more. Or I'll tell you what, this tape has come in handy. When I make stuff, it's like a third hand, or a fourth, fifth, and sixth hand. That sounded kind of gross, didn't it? But that's what it just kind of helps a lot. All right, so I'm gonna have all kinds of little extra bits and pieces. So we're gonna go ahead and take these off. So again, I'm gonna take my art glitter glue. I'm gonna flip this one side up and around like that. I'm gonna run a strip of glue. And it does actually look like it's crooked, but on the box it didn't. So go by the box, not by the eye. Or try to anyway. And try to use a pattern that's not directional like I did. I just used an all over. Even an all over pattern that's not directional. Be careful to not use a directional pattern because it might be a little cattywonked. I don't think I've ever made anything that was absolutely 100% perfection. It's always had a little quirks here and there, you know, and that's the charm of handcrafted goods. So, well, at least that's what I think. Right? Okay, so we got the one side down. Now we're going to do it to this side. We're going to flip it back. Run a bit of glue. Run some glue. Right? Yes, it looks okay. So this is the top, bottom. All right. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to add the same gemstones to both this top and bottom piece, and then I will be back. I won't make you watch that again because it looks like I don't need to trim nothing down at the moment. So I'm going to add these to this, and then I'll be back. I've got all the little gemstones on their little spots. Took just a minute. One up, look, I didn't do that. I didn't cut that very well because I've got one hanging off just a little bit. That's okay though. I don't care. I'm not going to worry about it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to the back side. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use a Fabri-Tac this time by Beacon just to give me some wiggle room, so I can wiggle it around a bit. Right, and then I think I'm going to go ahead, you can't really see, but I'm going to go ahead and put some in the seam here. Just a little bit. Just a little. Okay. So, here we go. I'm so excited. I actually like the fact that we had to add that top part. I think it looks fantastic. Okay. I think it makes it, it just finishes it off just perfect. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's pretty cool. Oh, got some oozing, but if it oozes out, you just wipe it away. That's what's another good thing about Fabri-Tac. Okay, let's see this bottom part here. I'm gonna grab my bone folder, and I'm just really gonna push this down. This will be the back. Now mine actually sits up next to a wall, so I probably didn't even need to mat my back, but I mean, you know, you have to have a finished piece, don't you? Okay, I think it looks fantastic. Here, maybe if I get a side view, right? Doesn't it look good? I will put on my Instagram, I'll try to do some detailed photos for you guys so that you can see it a little bit better. Maybe try to get it like full, like actually sitting upright for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna grab my two side pieces. And oops, whoopsie. Hang on, didn't press it down here on the sides. Let me do that real quick. We don't need things coming up. You could have waited to put them rhinestones on until after you got it on here so you could really get a good burnish, but I didn't do that. I wanted you to be able to see what I was doing. Okay, I think we got it. And if not, I can always come back and squeeze some glue in there. Okay, let's do this side first. Oh, I had the right. Right, so I'm going to attach this side the exact same way, and it should match up perfectly there in the corner. Ooh, that's going to look so good. So good, right? Okay, so I'm going to do it the exact same way. I'm going to add my Fabri-Tac and place it on, burnish it down. And you can see it's not perfect. Like, look, it's a little bit thicker right here, and that's because this front panel sticks out a little bit further than the side, but that's okay. Let's see, up here, it's a little bit wider up here, but again, it's okay. Here, it's a little wider. It's gonna look fantastic. And if somebody wants to pick on your handmade product, your handcrafted workstation, you can just send them my way, and I'll give them a piece of my mind. Yes, I will. Okay, so there's the one side. Now we need to flip it over and, whoa, do the other. What was that? Oh, look it. Should we wrap that around there? Oh, I think we should. Okay. I think we should wrap that around there. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right, I'm gonna cut another 2-inch strip. I'm pretty sure that's what we started with. Actually, I'm not gonna ink it up just yet. I'm gonna get my templates back out. In the Crafty Divider section, the templates for the sides, oops, on page 8M and 9M, and when I was gonna do it a different way, I printed 9M on a piece of transparency. This isn't acetate, this is just transparency. So I thought what we could do is use this printable transparency, just so you know. I thought we could line this up on here like this. Sure does look like an awful long bit, don't it? Let me see what it looks like when I lay it on here. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I see what I did wrong. Okay. The point is the only thing that's touching the top, so I need to... Okay, I had a boo-boo. I was right the first time when I laid out the template. You see how that's going up now instead of straight across. So I cut another one, and I think we're just gonna have to go right over. I already got the gemstones on it and everything, so we're just gonna have to go right over top of it. So I scraped the gemstones off, and we're gonna put the new ones on, because that to me looks better. It's like the same line. Okay, so all I need to do now is cut another one, and I think I'm just going to use this as a template. So just so you know how I got this shape, this top part here, I lined that up to the top of the straight edge, and so it makes for more of a steep slant, or no, not steep, what is that called? It gives us a bigger piece. It's not called steep. If it was steep, it'd be the other way we did it. All right, so I'm going to keep this piece and I'm going to put it aside. You never know, we might need it. And I'm going to ink these up, and I'm going to put them on the box, and I'm going to put the gemstones on, and then I'll be back. But this is what happens. This is what happens. Mistakes happen, and we just have to roll with it. So let me make sure these fit. That one fits that side. Yep. And then this one should fit this side. I got that done. I got that side. See how much it looks better? It looks like it's way straighter. Got that side done. Look at the back. The back's cool. And I got that side done. Right? Oh, I did, it's been a little bit longer of a break than I thought it was going to be, but I did go ahead and mat the front of this, and I'll show you what I used to mat that with. In the Crafty Divider section, page 6M, oops, that came from, you could use this right here to mat the inside, but I had accidentally printed off. This is page 2 from the Crafty Divider section. I had accidentally printed a coffee stained one off for another video earlier on, and so I just used this piece here and cut it down, so that way I got this piece I could use for other things, so I'm going to hang on to this. Okay, so now we need to work on the front panel, and so since I've got this page out, this is actually the template that you would use to trace out onto your chipboard to make this front panel. But I'm going to use it as my mat because if you look at it, it's barely got space all the way around, just barely. But on here it says the mat is on page 6M. And actually, I just noticed that I didn't put that on here on this strip, but this, you could mat it with this small one right here. And let me show you. It just leaves a bigger, you probably can't see it that well. It just leaves a bigger border all the way around. So if you wanted to, you could totally do that. Let's see what it looks like with a drawer into it. I was going to use this one, but I might not. I might use this one. We haven't made the drawers yet, so I don't want you to think the drawers, the trays, the crafty trays. We haven't made the crafty trays yet. This is just from my prototype. You guys have seen it a lot, actually, when we were making the Midnight Garden. I don't know. Maybe I do want to use that one. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to use the actual template for the chipboard front panel, and it's on page 2 in the Crafty Divider section. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if I have a big enough scrap left over. I probably don't because this is bigger than the drawer. Do I have any bigger scraps over here? Nope, I don't. Well, shoot. Nope. Okay. I'm going to put this crafty tray up. Alright, now I need to get a fresh sheet, it looks like. Let's see. Do I have one already printed? Probably not. Oh, but you know what? I bet you I have some in my scraps. This is where I keep all of my big scraps. So I bet you I have a larger piece because I've been fiddling around with stuff. Here's one. It's the same piece from the Floral Whimsy. It's the same pattern that we've used so far. So I'm just going to lay this on here. I'm going to lay it on here. I'm going to trace it out. I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to ink it up. Then I will be back. Okay, so I've got that cut and inked, and it's going to go right here. But I want to jazz it up a little bit. You guys are going to have to excuse my nails. I need to do them. I want to jazz it up though. I'm going to add some of that punched border and some of those little metal looking gemstones. So I've got a strip of white cardstock. This is 1 inch. I don't know how much I don't know how much I'm going to put on there, but I'm going to punch this all the way down, and then I'm going to ink the punched edge. I've got that punched and inked, just that edge, and I'm trying to decide if I want, how much I want on there. I'm almost leaning towards that whole strip, just leaving it on there, because it kind of matches the whole, I don't know. I guess we could always do it again if we don't like it, right? So I think I'm gonna glue it on here. Actually, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim it down. And also because in my prototype that I've been prototyping for quite some time, I don't know, is that prototyping or I've been testing out, I use the top part to clip my clips on. So if we was to have this up higher, the little thingies that we're going to put there might get knocked off. So let's do it. I guess we can always change our minds. Right, so we can glue it down here, and then we can add our little gemstones. I like it. I think we're going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. I'm going to glue it down. Yep. we're just going to go ahead and do it. We're going to commit. I think it looks good. You know, we can always jazz it up if we think it's too boring or whatever. We can always jazz it up later on when we get an idea or something. Or we do something to one of the other items we're going to be making. And we're like, oh, we need to add that to the other stuff. You know, that happens to me all the time. Okay. I can't get over top of it to see, so I'm going to have to lean it up this way. I better check it one more time. Yes. I love it. It looks good. Alright, now I need to get my little... Hopefully I've got enough. I've used so many. I'm going to have to get another pack, I think. I didn't think I was going to like them this much, but I do. Okay, let me get my little quick stick out. And I'm going to start adding glue. We have 4 left. I think I'm gonna have to get some more. Alright, all done. That is all done. What do we think? Do we like? Okay, you guys, I like it. For now, I like it. We're gonna leave it just like that. Let me show you again. These were the crafty trays. So this is out of my one of my prototypes. Oh, this one's got stuff in it. I keep forgetting. Alright, I just want to show you what these look like with drawers in them. That's not the paper we're going to be using, but right, doesn't that just totally make a complete difference? Right? It's going to look so good. I am so excited. So the next video, we are going to work on making the crafty trays. So we're going to make 3 of the C size and 2 of the B size full crafty trays. Now that's what I chose to make. That's what my main workstation is full crafty trays, because of all the different components, all the different embellishments and flowers and things that we use. That's what I keep in those full crafty trays. You've seen them in the videos from other you've seen them in the videos from like the Midnight Garden. So they're not new to you. You just haven't seen how they're made. So the next video we will make the crafty trays. I'm so excited. I can't hardly take it. We're darn near done with this. We make the crafty trays. We need to finish up the edges. We need to mat the crafty trays, put on the hardware. Oh, and then we need to make the crafty bottom. So we got a little bits to go. But anyway, so that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of our project that we got going on. Be sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave and share my video. And there should be some other videos here on the screen that you might enjoy watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye.